Hello, this is Brian. Today is Tuesday, November 15th, 2022, and I'm back at a spot I filmed a few months ago, the Trout Pond Trailhead on the Marty Minshall Trail. So now that it's fall, I just wanted to see how different this place looks. Last time I was here was in early July, on an uncharacteristically cooler than average July 5th. So here I am back here, beautiful Cuyamaca Rancho State Park, checking out to see how our arroyo willow friends are doing. So we got a beautiful arroyo willow grove here. If you remember the first time I was here back in July when it was all dark green and verdant. I just want to see how the fall colors are coming out. Actually looks pretty pleasant. The trail's very muddy. Just beware, it's very muddy. Very, very muddy. So we're here, not super far from Cuyamaca Lake. Right, and there's a 79. There's North Peak over there. Stonewall and Little Stonewall. It's an absolutely fantastically beautiful day out here. Temperatures are maybe in the 50s, maybe low 50s at most. Nice, crisp, and cool. And we're going to enter this willow grove again. You might remember, if you've seen my video back in July 5th, I entered this beautiful willow grove. It was chock full of mosquitoes. So when I was underneath the willows, it was a little unpleasant with all the bugs. But now that we've had some freezes and frosts, things should be pretty mellow now, I'm assuming. So now it's time to enter the willows. I remember the first time I was here, I passed this a few times before, but the only time I went through it was back in July. Yeah, love these willows. Love this little grove here. So here we are with these. I think these are Symphoracarpus albus variety levigatus. I believe that's what these snowberries are. You can see here they got the little white berries. Yep. We're hiking through our beautiful little willow grove here. Kind of more of a rusty yellowish color. But yeah, the first time I was through here, it was so buggy. It was just wall to wall, like a big cloud of mosquitoes around here. Now I wanted to see this in a different season. Here's our California rose right here. Rosa californica, changing color for its winter rest period. Most of it's kind of a hazy yellow, but there's some orange in here too. Sometimes they can get shades of red too. I've seen different colors on California rose. So roses can be quite nice fall color plants. Yeah. It's very muddy here. So just be careful. Sometimes when it gets extremely muddy, it gets kind of slippery. But we got a lot of snowberry. Yeah, pretty sure this is Symphoracarpus albus variety levigatus, the Parish snowberry. I mean, not Parish. I think that's the species. Parish snowberry is Symphoracarpus rotundifolius variety Parishy. know if that's found here at Cuyamaca. If it is, it'd probably be more likely towards Cuyamaca Peak, I would assume. But here we are, coming out to this meadow. Just had to get this on film again. Oh, that might be a red willow or something. That might be a different willow right there. But yeah, look at all the rose hips. All the beautiful rose hips that ripened earlier this fall. These roses out in the sun have mostly lost their leaves already. Probably earlier. But yeah, I remember just this trail is just... I only took a really short distance, and I'm only going to take a short distance of it now. But it is so nice and lush this time of year. Well, it's lush pretty much any time of year, but it's actually getting more towards winter dormancy, so I'm kind of talking kind of out of it. But it is astonishing here. So yeah, I love that little royal willow patch. I love that little spot. I love going through it. It is so beautiful. And then we're going up through this way a little bit. A couple of species of plants I don't recognize. I have to do a little research. What other things grow here? I remember going up through this. These oak trees didn't really change. These oak trees kind of look like the leaves just dried up without getting much fall color. Maybe it's because we did have some periods of unseasonably cold weather. While the trees were still green, so that might have caused a die off. Here's more of that snowberry. That's changing a little bit of color too. Not as dramatically. Oh, it used to be a monster oak over here. Oh, wow! I didn't notice this the first time. I'm guessing that was a black oak because I see a bunch of black oak sapling-sized shoots around it. That must have been a humongous black oak. Yeah, these right here, these might be root sprouts from it. I don't know. That thing used to be a monster. Wish I were here before the cedar fire. I could go back in time and see how big that was. Whew, boy. And of course, hoary coffeeberry, Frangula californica subspecies tomentella. That's a shrub you will find a lot here in Southern California. Coffee berries can be very common. Some areas just outright abundant. But yeah, a lot of these oaks really didn't get the chance to change. I think with the milder and more subtropical portions of earlier October, I think it caused the trees to start changing late, and then when they started changing, some super cold weather came and maybe froze their leaves off. There we go, we got a little bit better over here. This is probably not that spotlight on the southern mule's ears by Ovada. Here they are right here. They're winter dormant too. The leaves die. The root stays alive through the winter and sends up new leaves in the spring months. I might follow this a little further, just a little bit further. I don't remember how far I went. I don't think I went much further than this, if at all. A lot of snowberry here. There's like a whole population of it. headed more towards that way. A lot of snowberry. It's not a fruit you want to be eating. Heard it's supposed to be pretty toxic. So it's not something you really want to mess with. It does look kind of enticing, but again, you could be risking stomach cramps and digestive issues. I don't know how much worse it gets than that, but I think an upset stomach would be enough for me to not want to partake in it. I'm really not hip to my grasses. I'm wondering if that's purple needle grass. That's one place I struggle, is my grasses. Could be deer grass. Whatever it is, it's a native and it's cool. So yeah, let's just take this up a little bit and see. There's the reservoir right there, Cuyamaca Lake. Right over there. I didn't bother taking my backpack and water with me because I wasn't planning on making a monster hike out of this. But I definitely am going further than I did the first time I was here. What do we got here? Los Caballos. Let's go up this a little bit. Los Caballos. Yeah, this is more of an afternoon adventure. I did some hiking in the Mount Laguna area earlier, which videos will be up around this time. Should be up already by the time this video is out. Wow, a lot of young pines growing here. I like that. A little bit better on the fall color. Up here is better. Wow, these young oak trees are doing really well. Lots of young pines. Pretty much all these will be Jeffrey pines, I'm assuming. I think Ponderosa used to grow here too. Might still be here in some spots, but I'd assume it's mostly Jeffrey pine here. There's the Los Caballos Trail. We're junctioning with the Los Vaqueros Trail. There's a big sign there. I wonder what that means. Oh, it's telling you what kind of trail it is. I guess this is Los Vaqueros right here, I believe. Wow, this is nice. Very nice, actually. Very nice up here. Palmer ceanothus. Birchleaf mountain mahogany. And of course, blue elderberry. Completely leafless already. They shed their leaves a lot earlier. And of course, black oak. Oh, some of these are coulters. This is a coulter pine right here. This is a young coulter pine. Tell by the cones. This one he's got cones. That's definitely a coulter. So I wonder if these are mostly coulter pines growing here. I think with the reforestation they're doing at Cuyamaca, coulter pines are definitely a good choice because I think they'd be pretty well at adapting to a little bit drier climate regimes. Assuming, yeah, this is a coulter pine too. I can tell a piece of a cone on the trunk there. So a lot of these are actually coulter pine saplings. This one's a Jeffrey pine, I think. Yeah, the cones on that one are not coulter-like. So yeah, some of these are Jeffreys. Oh, it's muddy over here. Ooh wee. Ooh, it's kind of slick. That's a pretty cool trail. Yeah, maybe I should stick to this for a little while. Wasn't planning on making a big, long adventure video, but I'd like to go a little further up this trail than I did the first time I was here. I'm not really tired from a couple short peak climbs I did earlier. I'm not really tired from that. Nice, beautiful oak over there. Nice Quercus callagii, nice size one. Ooh, it looks like it might have a pretty thick base to it too. Please tell me this is going near it. Please tell me. I think so. Okay, I might get a closer view of this one. Wow, this is a beautiful trail. These younger Coulter and Jeffrey pines are really doing well. I'm so happy to see that. These little guys are really doing well. This is a beauty. This is a Jeffrey. This is a Jeffrey pine. I can tell by the cone. Its needles are very long too. I know Coulter pines are known for very long needles. Oh yeah, that's a pretty nice size black oak. Oh, this is a nice one. Oh yeah, this is a pretty decent one. Not as big as that one I saw earlier. The one I saw earlier was at Mount Laguna. I did an ode video to that. It was, well, actually, this one was a little bigger. This was a little bit bigger. It's definitely a nice sized California black oak right here. It's absolutely stunning specimen. Didn't really change much color. Boy, does it look. Oh, that's a nice trunk. That's definitely significantly larger. It used to be much bigger too. As you see here, there was a branch that used to go this way, so this tree used to probably be at least a third larger than it is now. That's a nice trail. I think when I took the fork, this is the Los Vaqueros, I believe. So I started on Marty Minshall, branched off on Los Caballos, and some kind of foundation over here. I don't know. Oh, this makes for a spectacular short hike over here. Now we're moving out more into meadowland. There's a lot of meadowland in Cuyamaca. Cuyamaca Mountains, very much known for its meadows. And the lagunas too. The lagunas are over towards this way. We're looking more towards the east and stuff. That's looking over towards the Laguna Mountains. Sunrise Highway is not that far away down that way as well. Yeah, that's a spectacular area right here. Good views of the surrounding terrain. Yeah, there's a little stone wall peak right there. Just a few feet under a mile high. It's like 5,230 or 5,250 or something like that. Just under a mile high above sea level. Heard to get up there is a little bit of a bushwhack. Of course, there's Stonewall itself. Stonewall Peak right there. That one's 5,700. there a couple times. I've seen them here once or twice. But they're basically protected here because you're not supposed to hunt in any portion of the state park. This is Cuyamaca Rancho State Park right here. Not really super close to, well, actually, if you go over Middle Peak and Cuyamaca Peak, heading west up and over those two, eventually you end up in Cleveland National Forest. On the west slope of Cuyamaca, you'll end up in Cleveland National Forest. So I guess we're not that far away from that. And we're pretty close to the dividing line. Once you get into that part of the National Forest, we're pretty much near the dividing line between the Descanso Ranger District, which takes the southern half of San Diego County, and the northern half, which is the Palomar Ranger District after Palomar Mountain. Here's some random road here. Trying to think. Should I keep going? I don't know what the name of this road is. Very pretty over here. But yeah, that's looking up towards, getting over towards the Laguna Mountains over there. As we start transitioning, doesn't seem, in my limited knowledge, it doesn't seem to be a huge dividing line between the, at least not what I've found out so far, a huge dividing line between where the Cuyamacas end and the Lagunas start. It's generally accepted that the western crest here would obviously still be considered Cuyamaca Mountains, but once you get past this and towards the east, then those will start rising up towards the Laguna crest. So yeah, I'm still on the Los Vaqueros trail. Don't know how far I'm going to go, especially I didn't pack any supplies with me, but it's pretty interesting over here. Again, we're in one of those bigger meadow sections that are very common here in the Cuyamaca / Laguna ranges, and also you get some moderate sized ones over in Palomar too. You get some meadows over there. There's North Peak. The very top of it is just 7 feet shy of 6,000. It's 5,993. That radio tower looks pretty tall. That radio tower probably goes up to at least 6,050 feet probably. So yeah, North Peak is just 7 feet shy of 6K. Had I an earlier start, I probably would have been tempted to maybe try Stonewall or even Little Stonewall. I heard Little Stonewall's a little bit of a pain to get to. If you're taking a trail around the left side of, kind of on the left side of Stonewall Peak, and then you get to a point where you have to bushwhack your way up the chaparral to get to Stonewall itself, or Little Stonewall itself, which would probably be a pain in the butt. And to do Stonewall, the most common way is just to park, pay the day use fee at Paso Picacho campground, and take the Stonewall trail across the highway and climb up that way, zigzag your way up to Stonewall. So I don't know if this area would yield a possible ascent. Obviously, not really prepared for a decent hike right now without my pack and everything. Left it in the car. I wasn't even planning on going this far. I was just going to go check out the fall colors over at by the trailhead, but curiosity got the better of me again. What's this side here? Fragile area. Oh, it's just stay on trail. Oh, okay. I think I'm gonna go maybe towards the pine grove, maybe towards the little pine grove over here, and maybe that'll be my turnaround point. Sure is lovely, I'll tell you that. Maybe I'll head towards the trees over there. This goes that way. Done Oaks Anita Peak today too, earlier. Now I'd be probably getting up there probably in the dark, trying to get back down in the dark. Probably not a wise idea. Wow, yeah, this is pretty magical over here. Yeah, a lot of these trees are protected from the cedar fire. A lot of these trees didn't even get touched by it, which is awesome. Really large shrub over there. It's supposed to stay on trail, so I'm not going to branch off, but it's not a manzanita, that's for sure. From here, it looks like a. From here, it looks like probably a. Looks like a Garrya flavescens maybe, but hey, I'm not gonna leave the trail because that's very strict. No cross-country travel here, so I'm not gonna do that. That looks like a huge Garrya flavescens, probably a pale silk tassel. Bark's kind of medium gray. There's a skunk bush right here, Rhus aromatica, just losing its last few leaves for its winter dormancy period. Very gentle terrain here. You don't gain or lose a lot of elevation around here. When you start getting over towards the peaks, then obviously that's a much different scenario, but that's pretty neat over here. So I'm going to be going by the assumption these are Jeffreys. Probably all Jeffrey pines here. But yeah, I think that might be a Garrya flavescens. The undersides of those leaves are kind of silvery. Wow, this is magical. This is beautiful over here. This is, yeah, see, a lot of these trees survived. Very happy to see living trees here in Cuyamaca Rancho State Park that survived. This must have been an island of protection or an island of maybe an island between flames. Yeah, these Jeffrey pines are beautiful. I mean, this state park used to host some of the probably the tallest trees in San Diego County, namely sugar pines. I think some of them were over 200 feet tall, from what I've heard. I know my friend Brett, you've seen him on some of my videos. He was watching a video and I think somebody might have mentioned something about 200-foot tall sugar pines or plus. So there might have been some trees that were over 200 feet tall here at one point. I know there were some at Crystal Lake, near Crystal Lake in the Angeles National Forest, north of Azusa. There were Azusa. Yeah, I think it was Azusa. That there were some sugar pines in the Crystal Lake Basin area that were ponderosas, and they were over 200 feet tall. Very large trees. So there are some pockets of places here that have enough soil moisture to let these trees grow enormous. I'll have a little bit of a hike back, but this is so worth it. Look at the little rock outcroppings on the little hills above the meadows. Some of these Jeffrey pines are pretty respectable. But yeah, I think over towards, North Peak and parts of Cuyamaca, the ridge leading up to Cuyamaca, I think is where the largest conifers were. Largest Jeffrey pines and sugar pines, and probably large white firs too, I would imagine. Once you get up towards Cuyamaca, you're in white fir territory. So you get quite a bit white fir once you, if you take Lookout Fire Road from Paso Picacho to hike up to Cuyamaca. Once you get to about 6,000 feet, you enter the relatively unscathed portion of the park near the peak, and that's where you get some very dense forest of white fir, sugar pine, incense cedar, especially those three. Okay, well, we're coming up on a very large coffee berry. And these are pretty respectable, these Jeffrey pines. But here's another coffee berry, Frangula californica subspecies tomentella. Very respectable specimen right here. Wow. There you go. Eating these is really not supposed to be good for you. I believe you might get some pretty gnarly stomach issues if you eat those. I know settlers used to supplement their coffee with parts of the fruit to conserve the amount of coffee they have, and it would give the miners that have a lot of bad bowel movements made them use the bathroom very frequently. I don't want to talk much more about that. I'm not in the mood for discussing disgusting crud, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I got some respectable Jeffrey pines here. Ones that thankfully survived. Yeah, this is going to be my turnaround point here. I think it's going to be time for me to start heading back. Get back on 79 and head towards 8. Drive towards the El Cajon Valley. But yeah, this has been a really nice little sojourn out here. Again, if you take these trails, at least as far as I've gone, very little elevation gain, very peaceful walk, and for a Tuesday, pretty peaceful, meaning more solitude. I am grateful that we still do have some adult Jeffrey pines that survived cedar fire, so we can enjoy them. So where we are, we're between 4,650 and 4,750, probably closer to 4,700 feet here, maybe a little bit lower. And then Cuyamaca Lake's like 4,650. So we're just a little above it elevation-wise. So just another perfect day to enjoy what the mountains have to offer. I'm hoping that this cooler season that I'm going to be varying my adventures a little bit more. And by varying my adventures more, meaning trying different places and trying to get to some different peaks. That's the California Riding hiking trail there. But yeah, I really hope that, especially with the lower average temperatures, that I'm going to be able to get to some lower elevation peak climbs in places that normally would be too hot for me in the summer, now that I'm down here, and hope to add some more layers of adventure to my life and for my channel, so people can experience with me the awesomeness that is contained here, just within the political boundaries of this county. It's hard for a lot of people who don't live or come from Southern California. It's hard for a lot of them to fathom that San Diego, Los Angeles, Orange County, that if you take a little time to explore, you're going to find some pretty awesome places like this, where you wouldn't expect, again, not being from Southern California, you wouldn't expect would exist here, because it's either beach, palm trees, suburbs, and desert. But between the suburbs and the desert, you got mountains like this. So this is another reason why I like to vary where I go, is to show the variability of the landscape. And I'm hoping that this channel does a good job, and I'm pretty confident that I like to vary it up, but I do have a lot of favorite places I return to time and time again, and luckily I find new adventures in those spots. But I do hope that this channel does entice people to appreciate what we have locally. Yes, you can go to Yellowstone, you can go to Yosemite, you can go to Olympic National Park, you can go to Rocky Mountain National Park, all the ones in Utah. You know how Utah is like the national park capital, Grand Canyon, and you can find surreal experiences there. But also realize that yes, those are great, those are grand destinations, no doubt about it, epic scenery. But if you take the time to look more closely, your own area, without having to travel hundreds of miles, can most certainly offer a wide variety of natural beauty, peace and quiet, and fun recreational opportunities. I got some more turkeys over there. Yeah, right about there. Yeah, like I said, ever since moving back to Southern California from New Jersey nearly 10 years ago, the only places I've left were to Central California, the Southern Sierras in Tulare County. That's about as far north as I've gone. And I found some adventures that really blew my mind. Great plants, great wildlife, awesome mountain peaks, all without having to even leave California. Barely leaving Southern California into Central California. So, live here. Take the time to explore it out a little bit from your suburban or urban, maybe even semi-rural living. Branch out a little bit and see what's really popping off. You'll be surprised at what you can find. Guessing that's going to end my public service announcement for this. I'm going to take one more video shot through the willows, I think, before the end of this video. We're hitting the home stretch here on the Marty Minshall Trail. So, like I said, I wanted to go through this willow grove one more time with the camera on. Just wanted to film this one more time because I really love this part. Really love this part of the trail. Going through these beautiful arroyo willows here. Beautiful Salix laciolepis, shedding their leaves for autumn. If the weather weren't so wacky this fall, with subtropical weather, the beginning of it, and then the hard freezes, these willows would have changed really brilliant golden yellow. Arroyo willows have been known to change golden yellow in fall. I've seen it. I know I've seen it before. Would have been nice to see again, but they still look beautiful. I'm still enjoying what I'm seeing. Beautiful. See this little trickling rivulet here. Well, it's not trickling now, but I imagine it probably does from time to time. Again, the California roses. I got a little buttery yellow on these beautiful Salix laciolepis. So, kind of surprised I didn't do my spotlight video over here. I think I was tempted to. These are beautiful willows. Really love this spot. I love the little willow patch right here. These are probably more like really tall shrubs, but they are basically small tree sized. Not that it really matters, honestly, but look at that. Oh, these are so beautiful. I love these multi-trunk thickets. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, this really makes me feel good and peaceful. We're really close to the trailhead now. So I went out a fair distance, much further than I planned to go. I was planning to make this a kind of a quick video basically here in the willow grove. But curiosity kept nagging me to keep going and going. So I couldn't help it. I'm glad I went. These willows are just so beautiful. Love these guys. They're just so luscious and just so beautiful. Wow, man, this is awesome. Now, these ones are past their peak. They're going to be going leafless pretty soon. But yeah, something magical about willows. Especially when they grow like this in these wet meadows. Just especially when they make these little thicket groves that are just so cool to look at. They're just so awesome. Oh, that's pretty awesome. So I have officially been to Cuyamaca Rancho State Park in all 4 seasons now. My first time here was in spring of 2015 when I did Cuyamaca Peak from Paso Picacho and the Lookout Fire Road. Second time was winter of 2016, February 2016, when I tried to get up to the top of Middle Peak, and I made it up to where you leave the trail, roughly where you leave the trail to start bushwhacking your way up. And I didn't make it to the top, but sure made a nice hike. Then came here in the summertime, back in July of this year. That's the first time I've been here in the summer. And then I came here in fall. So, something attractive about this park in all 4 seasons. So, hope to be back here in the next few weeks to get up to a peak or something. Maybe Oaks Anita. Maybe some of those other peaks. Look at these arroyo willows. Very nice. I love these multi-trunk thicket ones. So beautiful. Really love these trees. Shrubs, trees, whatever. Does it matter? No. Guess it really doesn't matter. What's that right there? There's a tree right there, some kind of deciduous tree. Can't quite tell what that is. It's got compound leaves. Huh. I'm not going to walk over the meadow to get over there. Of course, curiosity is always a factor. But here we are, back at the trail board for the Marty Minshall Trail. Of course, Noble Stone Wall Peak. Probably one of the most rugged peaks here. It's got that kind of slightly craggy nature near the top. And then there's Little Stone Wall. Maybe I'll make it up there. Just maybe, hopefully. And again, that's up towards Middle, Cuyamaca. And that will basically do it for me today. Thanks for watching my Cuyamaca hike, Cuyamaca Rancho hike, Marty Minshall, Los Caballos, Los Vaqueros. And hope to see you on another adventure very soon. I know I got to work 6 days straight, so my days off will be Wednesday and Thursday next week. Wednesday and Thanksgiving. And in Thanksgiving I might be going out, probably be going to OC with my father to visit some family friends that we met while living out there before. So that's going to be a long day in its own. So I don't know what might be lying ahead hike-wise. Maybe it'll be short and local, I don't know. Or hopefully it's something, but see you on the next adventure. Thanks for watching. Come out here and check out these trails. They're just so beautiful.